How's it going, folks? Welcome to another episode of Orloski's Car Wash Show and Tell. I'm here with Stephanie Wasmanski and her 66 Ford Galaxie behind us. It's pretty awesome. We're going to find out all about it. We got Tom Martin on the back. We got 8 cylinders, 7 liters. Looked great in the sun just before. Stephanie, thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me.
No,
I'm
it's
excited.
awesome.
Thank you.
So tell us, how did you get involved in classic cars? Was it something you always wanted to do since you were younger? Was it something that one day you're saw a car driving by, you were like, I want to get into that? How did it start?
I came home from the hospital in a 1969 Chevelle. And I have a feeling that that's exactly where it started. I'm convinced there's motor oil in these veins.
So it's just like, all right, yeah. You're coming home as a baby in a Chevelle. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Born into a car family.
Okay.
Mostly Fords and specifically 7 liters. My father found.
So you're taken home in a
quite a
Chevelle,
few.
but more in the Fords?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. The Chevelle is a family car, but my father was a Ford man. Is a Ford man,
Okay.
I should say, and that was it. Just went to car shows and had a good time with them growing up. And
Did he have cars as you were growing up?
oh yeah. A few 7 liters. There's
Okay.
a convertible. He's got a sedan. There's another coupe, a green one. I joked that he loved the car so much he bought one in every color that it came in. So.
Does he still have them now?
Yeah.
To this day?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So you were kind of born into it. You knew exactly.
For sure.
When you were growing up with your dad and he had all these cars, is it something that you helped him out with? Was it something that you were like, I'm not really into it, or was it something that you were like, he's showing you how to change the oil, do the tires, that kind of thing?
Yeah, when I was little, I was always down the garage with my dad, helping where I could. And then I think when, as kids do, I was done helping, I would sort nuts, bolts, and washers for all the change in his left pocket.
Yeah.
It was probably about 8 or 9 when I figured out he kept his change in the right
Other
pocket, but that's all right.
Yeah, no, I got it.
No, I was always down the garage with dad.
So he had a garage, like an auto repair shop?
Not just the garage at the bottom of the hill, with
Okay.
probably everything. He was a mechanic for years, so
Yeah.
just has the know-how and
Seems
has all
like
the tools and equipment.
Folks from that generation, they did all their own stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where they, needed to fix the lawnmower, they fixed the lawnmower. They needed to fix the car, they fixed the car themselves. There was no taking it to different places, you know what I mean?
No.
And that's how you learn.
That's it.
That's pretty awesome.
And he learned from his father. His father owned a garage down in Wilkes-Barre,
Okay.
gas station and garage, and it was my pop's car. He's the one
Okay.
who fell in love with this one. And
So this is his car?
this is my grandfather's
Your grandfather's car?
Yes,
So
sir.
you're driving your grandfather's car?
Yes, I am. Yes, I
See,
am.
that's why I don't talk to people
Yeah.
before the interviews. I'm like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So what year did he buy it? Did he buy it brand new?
No, 93 actually. This was
Okay.
supposed to be a parts car. My father was looking for pieces for his 7
That's
liters.
almost 30 years ago,
Yeah.
which is crazy to even think
Isn't
about.
it, right?
Yeah.
Don't remind me that.
No, I know. I know. Believe me.
And they took a ride out and took a look at the car, and the guy wouldn't start it. And there was a whole back and forth. And my father decided he was going to walk away from it. It had a lot of nice chrome pieces on it, a lot of nice redeeming features that he could steal from
Sure.
for his cars.
Sure.
And he walked away, and I think it was a difference of like $100. If Dad was here, he could, prove me wrong. But my grandfather said, "Oh, it's too nice a car, Tommy.
Yeah.
You can't walk away from that. I'll give you the $100 if that's what it takes. We got to go back and get this car." As it turns out, they towed it to a gas station. It had a cracked head. I mean, it was just a monster, and it sat in our driveway for a couple days. And finally, Pop came next door neighbors, and
Yeah.
he said, "Tommy, what are you doing with that car?" My dad said, I'm going to part it out. I just don't think that's a good idea. It's just too nice a car. You got to save it. And my father said, "Dad, do you want the car? Do you want to put the work into it?" And he handed him the title and the keys. And my pop started buying piece after piece after piece and putting
That's
it
funny.
together. Yeah.
Your dad probably thought he got away with something like that.
Yeah.
You take it. Now look at it now.
Oh, my
Is your
father
dad
said-
like, oh man, I should have held on to that thing?
No. He drives it too. He'll be in it in Hershey. It's still very much a family affair, and he did a lot of work with my grandfather on it.
Yeah.
I mean, they redid the motor on it and the transmission, and my pop did some of the body work, but my father had a big hand in a lot of the mechanical pieces of it for sure.
Yeah, those guys know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So 7 liter, that's like piston size, how much cubic inches?
Instead of cubic inches.
Like you
yeah,
fill it.
it's
Okay,
a
so
7
instead of
liters.
cubic-
Well,
7
it's a
liters.
428, so
Okay.
428 cubic
Okay.
inch motor in there, and so.
I see liters a lot with foreign cars, but I don't see it you know what I mean, like an Audi or BMW, but I don't see it a whole lot
No.
on classic cars. So I wonder if it was something like they were just trying to differentiate like how they like said what,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and I really don't know the story.
It's pretty cool.
I know that a lot of people think it's like from Canada or
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
because of the Litre.
Litre,
But no,
yeah.
Ford just decided to change it up for that model year. This was the only
they
year
probably
they
did it just
offered
because
the
the
7
badge
liter.
looks good. The badge looks
Doesn't
awesome.
it, right?
Yeah, I like the 7
Yeah,
liter
and
badge.
I love that there's so many of them on it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Looks really cool. And all the chrome especially. So I saw there's a Tom Martin badge on the back. Is that the dealership? Is that like, was it a local thing?
It is a dealership.
Okay.
My grandfather's name was Tom Martin, and my father's name is Tom Martin, and I
Okay.
think they were hoping I was going to be a Tom Martin, but alas, here I am,
They got a
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
I got
Yeah.
a Stephanie.
Hey, you're taking care of the car. I mean, their legacy is still like you're still
So,
good.
Yeah,
you know?
I gave them a Tom. I
Yeah.
have a Tom
Oh,
myself.
there you
So
go.
my 5-year-old is
Yeah.
Tom carrying on that legacy.
man.
So they found that badge. It was a Ford dealership that
That's
they
pretty
put on
cool.
the back of the car. Yeah,
So does your Tom? Does he love it as much as you love it? He
does.
probably gets a kick out
he
of it.
does.
That's
He
awesome.
does, yeah.
That's awesome. So you do a lot of shows with it. Did you do any work to it? Is it like all original? You said it had a cracked head. They must have. Did
Oh,
they?
yeah,
Is
they-
it mostly like, all right, so we grabbed a little bit from here, grabbed a little bit from there, and like made it, you know?
Yeah, really
Brand new.
robbed my father's cars.
Yeah.
What was supposed to be taken off of this and put on Dad's cars to,
Actually,
to
you got
fix,
the
he
other
kind
way
of flipped,
around.
right?
The other
There's
way around.
been a lot of trading and borrowing and taking the best pieces. A few pieces have been sent off to be re-chromed. My uncle was the caretaker after my grandfather passed away, and he Mike Martin, and he did just such a beautiful job with it. And the whole thing was my pop was wanting to get this national award at Hershey.
Yeah.
And he took it down and it got 3rd place, and then that was it. It fueled the fire, and he put more money and energy into it. And
That's a common theme
It is.
when I do these when I do these interviews. I'll be
you
honest.
get that bug
Yeah.
will bite you, and then
Yeah.
that's it. And he took it to Hershey 3 times before he was diagnosed with cancer, and then unfortunately he saw 2nd place was the best that he saw. My grandmother was bummed that she wasn't going to go back to Hershey because she
Yeah.
loved that, and she couldn't drive a stick. So she said, I guess the car stays in the garage. And my uncle said, no, Mom. He goes, I'll take you. So
Yeah.
my aunt and uncle would take my grandmother to every show, and they've taken it to a national, grand national level.
Yeah,
So-
see, like that's an awesome story. It's funny how like families like kind of bond around
Yep.
vehicles like that,
Yeah.
and you know their love of cars.
Yeah.
So you said that the 7 liter was a package
In
67,
yes.
but it was just 66 is the only time it came
66 was
okay.
the Galaxie 500 7-liter.
That's
Is
pretty
what
cool.
Ford made. Yep.
How long did they make? Was this positioned like in the Ford lineup? You think of like Mustangs, the muscle car. Was this like placed? I mean, obviously it's a coupe, so it couldn't have been like a family car.
I don't know,
Was
but it
like-
came in sedan, and they
Yeah?
all had snot. I mean, they came with the 428,
Okay.
and the whole idea
huge
was
engine.
it is right. Well, it's got to move a lot.
Yeah.
And that was the whole thing. Is I guess like parents want to have fun too.
Yeah.
And you can't really
Yeah.
put the kids in
a
the
Mustang.
Corvette or the Mustang
Yeah.
or the. So Ford decided
We can
to
give you
come
the
out
best
with
of
a
both
full
worlds with
size.
this. Yeah.
And it was lightning without thunder, right? So it was fast, but you didn't really have to hear it coming.
Right,
You'll
right.
hear this one coming.
Yeah,
She's
I like
modified.
it. Yeah, I like that.
She's
I like
modified.
that. So what kind of plans do you have? You said you're taking it to Hershey.
Yeah,
Do you
she's
do
in
like
Hershey.
multiple shows a year? Do you do a circuit that you like, or?
Primarily, we do the Easter meet in Hershey.
Okay.
I would like to do a little bit more in the summer. Of course, this last year and a half is just
Yeah.
taken
Yeah.
taken
Don't
all
even
of
need
us
to
down a
explain.
path,
Yeah,
right?
shot.
I don't want to talk about it
Yeah.
anymore. But yeah, she's a regular at Hershey. They moved Hershey to Gettysburg last year, so we went to Gettysburg last year. And I'm a member of the AACA, so
Okay,
I like
yeah.
to hit their shows. It's like a family there too, you know.
Does anyone like, so you hit the same shows over, does anyone like, oh, Stephanie, you brought, like, is it like, you know what I mean? I remember when your grandfather, your uncle had that car down there.
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
incredible. It's incredible. We had the first year after my uncle passed away. He passed away in September of 2019, and it was supposed to go to Hershey in October.
Okay.
And about a year or so before he passed away, he said, you're going to be the next caretaker of this car, babe. You got to, you're going to take care of it. And he sent me all the information of where it was, the garage, and
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'll give you my word. I honestly didn't think he was leaving me as soon as he did. So in his memory, in Graham's memory,
Yeah.
off to Hershey we went in October. It was the first time I drove this, and I could
I'm sure
still
he was,
feel their hands on mine as I'm shifting.
Yeah, I'm sure he was thrilled that you
Yeah.
brought it down, especially with him having plans to go and, like you
Yeah.
said, leaving too early and
Yep.
and that kind of thing.
And all of his friends.
And I
down
appreciate
there
how
were
he said
excited.
he said you're the next caretaker, not the owner. Like you are the next caretaker. That's a great way to put it. I
Because
feel
it's
like,
Pop's car.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
That's it. I'd show you. It's on the tag, on the key tag.
Exactly.
Pop's car.
Don't you forget it.
Don't forget it.
Yeah.
Don't forget it.
So you said you have a Tom Martin yourself. So Pop was Tom Martin, your dad was Tom Martin, now you have a Tom Martin.
I have a Tom Wasmanski.
I'm
married.
sorry.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
You got a Tom.
That's okay. I got a
Is
Tom.
he does he think that he's going to be the next caretaker,
Well,
or what?
Mom's got a 66 Ford and a 79 Jeep.
Okay.
And my daughter loves both, and my son loves both. So I don't
we
know
have
if
to
it's going to
have
be
a-
an arm wrestling match or what's going to happen. But I've got 2 to send along and 2 to take them. So
That's great.
yep, we'll see who gets what. But
Well, thanks,
yeah, they
Stephanie.
both enjoy it.
That is an awesome car. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you coming in and
Thanks so
telling me that
much.
story. I mean, yeah, it's an awesome story. That's what we like here at Orloski's Car Show and Tell for sure. So thank you very much for
Thanks so
coming
much
down.
for having me.
Stephanie Wasmanski, 66 Galaxie, 7-liter. The only year that made it. Package next year. I'll try to remember that when I'm looking at my Galaxies. Like so, I have that info.
There you go.
But thanks for stopping by, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thanks a lot.